Hi, Mark Anthony here with a fabulous program today. This is going to be one that you are definitely going to want to record because today we are going to redesign your refrigerator. And let me tell you, this is one of the most important things you could ever possibly do in your kitchen. And we've got some great recipes for you, but when you look at that refrigerator, I'm going to show you my home refrigerator, exactly the way it looks. And when you get your kitchen working in a successful way, everything else falls into place. So that's what we need to do. We need to make ourselves a successful environment. When you have a successful environment, then everything works better. So enjoy these segments and we will see you later on in the program. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you some simple salads. And basically, I'm just here to have lunch. So I'm going to share with you what I do for lunch quite often. And we're going to get some lettuce cut up here. Right now, I've got a bowl here with some of the spring mix. And you can get these in containers like this. It's just a nice, easy way to do it. This is an organic, pre-washed, that type of thing. But I still wash it. Just to let you know, even though it says washed, I still wash it. In fact, you know what I do? I wash every bit of produce before it goes into my refrigerator. Why put dirty produce into a clean refrigerator? If you do that, your mind is going to be saying, oh, I don't want to have to deal with it because I got to wash it and clean it and do all this and all that. Where if your product is already washed, then your mind is going to be thinking, ooh, fast food, I can just grab and go. I can just grab it and go. So it's a lot easier way to do it. And so yeah, just wash all the food. Now I've got some kale here, and I just took it off the spine and get some kale in here because I like kale. And sometimes I cook it, and sometimes I just eat it raw. And then you can give this a little mix here because that's my salad. Right there's my salad. And by the way, you don't want to wash this and then put it into the fridge because it's going to just get really soggy and it's going to turn bad really fast. So you want to actually, this particular one, if you're going to wash it, you should actually wash it right before you serve it. So that would be the practical thing to do there. So, all right. So anything you want to put in your salad today, you can do it. So, and you just decide what's your favorite items. And I'm gonna, cucumbers of course is one of my favorites of all time. And we'll get some onion here. And onions are pretty easy to do. You just cut this baby in half and get rid of the outer layers. I hope I don't cry. Just like that. However many onions you want. I'm gonna bust these up just a little bit here. Ooh, that's a lot of onion for me. I've got some baby carrots here, so we'll put some baby carrots in there. And some red pepper, easy enough. You just pull out the seeds in the centerpiece and give this a little cut any way you want. So we'll put that right here. Ooh, I got some broccoli. Let me knock out this broccoli real quick. Here, I'll show you what I do too. I take the whole thing like this, while it's still connected to the rubber bands. And then you can just go all the way around. You can save that for soup if you want, but that's a nice way to just get it in the fridge so it's already cleaned and prepped, and I wanted to show that to you real quick today. So, but broccoli, we can just chop this up into some pieces, just like this. So, and all you're doing is making a fun little salad. That's it, just that easy. And by the way, you'll notice when in the kitchen, and I repeat this all the time, I always have a wet towel and a dry towel. That's your most successful tools, to have a wet towel and a dry towel in the kitchen. Tomato, and I think I'll just do half a tomato today. And you can do some wedges, you can do some squares, whatever you want to do. So that's fun enough. I do have some dill here because boy, you put some dill on there and it just gives it a nice little fresh. It just says fresh all over it. So, radishes. Like I said, whatever you want to put on there, you can go to town. Seasonal wise, I pick up things that are seasonal. Whatever is seasonal is usually what I get the most of. But then there are staples that I use all the time. So you can sprinkle some of that on there. And just like that, we're done. Look at that. Is that easy or what? Here. We do have our pomegranates like this. I think I've showed you this before. And you want to have a little pomegranate for some flavor, just like that. And that's it. Look at that. This actually is my lunch. And I mean, it looks big, but what a beautiful, fast, simple, probably one of the healthiest things you could ever eat is these salads. I eat them almost every day. Well, except when I'm cooking things for you all the time, because I gotta get creative and do lots of different things. But this is what I eat. This is what I have for lunch. And I don't have to have any salad dressing whatsoever on that. It just tastes perfect just the way it is. And when your taste buds change, because you're not eating all these animal products, you get that fat and cholesterol off of your taste buds. Your taste buds start doing the job they're supposed to be doing, and then all your flavors of these foods are bursting in your mouth. So you got to get your taste buds working right for one. But I'm telling you, this is a great energy. You can add some Bragg's liquid aminos. Sometimes I'll just put a little squirt of that on there for a little zippity flavor. But that easy. Start eating more salads. They're good for you, and your body will love it. So this is Mark Anthony. Keep watching those videos, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, Melody Prettyman here from The Whole Message with your tip of the day. Today we're going to talk about raspberries. Beautiful. I love the flavor of raspberries. When I go to the grocery store and I pick up my raspberries, I have to buy 2 containers because I only get home with 1. They're not only packed full of vitamins, but they're high in fiber, and they have complex carbohydrates and even protein. Whether you use them in your favorite recipe or make your syrup for pancakes instead of the sugary ones you get at the store, remember, your good health is only 1 bite away.
Hey there, Mark Anthony here today, and a little casual day at home, and I had to show you what my refrigerator looks like. And let me tell you, this is just one of those standard little refrigerators. If there's something I wanted to change, this would be it. I would love to have a refrigerator that has about 3 or 4 more cubic square feet. And in fact, the refrigerator out in my studio is actually better than this refrigerator. So yeah, I know I take better care of you than I do of myself. So but this is my basic refrigerator. By the way, this is not staged. This is pretty much the way it looks on any given day. Of course, you've got a lot of adjustments that go on from time to time. I guess I'll just start with the top and work my way down here. I make this top shelf a smaller shelf because that's what I use for my leftovers. Those are the things that I want to consume right away. I don't need a big shelf up here for what I'm going to consume on a regular basis. And right here I've got some hummus. This is some potato salad, and then I've got some tofu eggless salad sandwiches there. Some potatoes. These are some potatoes that I got to go through the next day or two, and I'm actually thawing out some lasagna. I portion lasagna, cut it up, freeze it so I can pull out portions as I want them. My next shelf is really my fruit island. Of course, in the back here, just to let you know, I better get detailed here. I've got some tahini back here. There's some maple syrups, and then I've got some Vegenases back there. I've got a few extras of those right now. Right here, this is my fruit island, basically my fruit island. I've got some strawberries, my grapes. Here's some pineapple good to go and some cantaloupe good to go. I've got a little stash back here of some organic non-GMO tofu. That's the best to get, and so I do consume a lot of tofu. And right here is just my cheese bin, mostly Daiya cheese. That's what I do all the time if I'm going to do cheeses. Oh, Over here is a little bit of a salad section. I'll get these pre-done salads from time to time. Problem is I don't always go through all of it, those organic salads. I do like these here with the 6 heads of romaine. And they seem to have a longer shelf life for me, and I can just chop one up and that type of thing. And then I think I've got some kale back here and some items that I'm going to be using here this week. So everything changes a little bit. In fact, let me show you. This right here is my salad station just for making salads. And I've got some broccoli down here. This has cucumbers in it. I've got some, well, these are actually left over from a recipe, so I've got some green olives there. Carrots, onions. Over here in water, I've got some radishes and some celery and some carrots. On the back here, I've got some sprouts that are in paper. And then I've actually got some of these regular Brussels sprouts that I'm going to be cooking up. So anyway, but this is really nice because you can pull out this whole shelf and then just go and make your salads in a matter of minutes and have a fresh salad all the time. So I always do this and have containers with different things already cut up and cleaned and everything. Most of the things I do, I like to clean them before they go in the cooler. You know, why are you going to put dirty produce in a clean refrigerator? And if you do that, your mind is going to be saying, well, now I got to wash it, I got to clean it, you know. So where if you wash your food and put it in here, then your brain is saying, oh, it's all ready to go. So your mind is thinking fast food. There are a couple things I don't wash because they don't have a longer shelf life, things like that. But for the most part, I like to wash it, prep it, clean it, cut it. Whatever I can do to make it easier in the future. Take that 5-10 minutes when you get home from the grocery store and just knock it out. Now down here, I've got backup. This is kind of backup of beans, and I've got some really cool carrots here that I'm getting ready to do some really unique artwork with. And I've got some beets, which are very difficult to clean until you're ready to cook them, and some carrots and turnips and things like that. So, and then this side of my cooler has my lemons and my peppers, a few tomatoes. Avocados hold really good in the fridge. You get a lot longer shelf life this way. And I do watch this very carefully because if one goes bad, sometimes everything starts going bad. So you really want to keep a good eye on it to make sure that you're not going to be losing product there. For the most part, your fruits and vegetables are going to have a longer shelf life than a lot of your meats and hamburger and things like that. You know, sometimes your meats and, you know, you'll have a few days where most of this stuff you're going to have a few weeks. So you definitely do get a longer shelf life. All right, let me share with you what we got over here. Earth Balance, that's my main go-to for butter. My little stevia section up here, I do a lot of those stevias. I've got my yeast right there for my breads. I do my homemade breads. Here's jellies and some little condiments, that type of thing. Here I've got my mustards, my mayonnaise that's actually open, and a barbecue sauce. And then there's some ketchup over there, which is actually the ketchup without the high fructose corn syrup. That's what I always look for. I've got my milks here. Usually doing almond milks and soy milks. Couple of healthy beverages, and then some of the silk creamers for tea, which works really good. And then on the bottom, I've got some rice oil down here and lemon juice. I hate having 2 open ones, but that's happens sometimes when I do events. And then a couple Bragg's liquid aminos and some garlic and salsa. So that's pretty much it. That is the extent of my refrigerator. And let me tell you, it is so much easier to do a refrigerator like this that's clean and organized. And when you come in and look at it, you always have options of something to eat. You know, there's so many varieties, boom, boom, boom. And this will change all the time. Sometimes I have 5 or 6 different items up here to choose from. And as you can see, it's just an easy functioning way to design your refrigerator. so that it's always inviting to have good food to eat. And, the grapes are great. I love these bags that you can just rinse them off, and I'll usually set them on a thing so they're dry and then bring them in here. Same thing with the strawberries, and but I'll chop those up from time to time and actually have them like this too. So, but there you go. That is the easy functioning way to do your refrigerator. And this is what's going to give you success. When you design your refrigerator around the healthy lifestyle and the healthy foods, then you're going to have more success. Where if the only thing you have in your refrigerator is cold cuts and meats and cheeses and eggs and all these unhealthy products, which you can load up your fridge with everything that's unhealthy nowadays, then you're not going to have much success in transforming your life into a healthier lifestyle. So this is one of the key elements to having a successful growth. Get your refrigerator functioning the way it's supposed to. So Mark Anthony here, and we will see you next time in the studio kitchen. All right. Now that's what I call an organized refrigerator. And it is one of the easiest things you can do. You know, everybody goes and organizes their refrigerator and cleans them out from time to time. All you have to do is clean it out and make a permanent transformation. And there's a couple little secrets I want to share with you today. One of the things that you want to do when you're doing this is throw out all the unhealthy foods. Just throw it in the trash. Don't even save it for somebody else. You know, there's a lot of people, oh, well, I'll give this to somebody or something like that. Or once it's gone, then I won't buy it again. No, no, no. You want to throw it away. Because here's what happens. I did this to my brother. Let me tell you, I got to share this with you. Did this to my brother. Went into his refrigerator, and this is a guy that was 425 pounds, and went into his refrigerator, and I didn't even do it. I had him throw away all the cheese and the salamis, all these horrible meats and everything right into the trash. And I'm telling you, he was having a fit with me that day, you know, throwing all this stuff in the trash, but I was replacing it for him, you know, so, you know, it was a good trade out. And, but I'm telling you, to this day, he will never forget that day when he took his hard-earned dollars that he bought this junk like cheese and stuff and threw it in the trash. And that is carried with him time and time again. Every time he goes to the store, he won't buy cheese because he knows he just threw it in the trash. And so there's something about that, throwing it in the trash. Anyway, we've got some cooking segments here, and I've got quite a few cooking segments, so I'm not going to spend too much time at the desk. We're going to go over some other things here in a little bit, but let's go to these couple classes because I want to fill your refrigerator with some really good items. You know, you're draining out your refrigerator from the unhealthy foods. We need to fill it with the healthy foods. And this is all a strategy because we're setting the foundation, and this refrigerator is probably one of the most important things that you can do in the kitchen as far as getting that in a healthy lifestyle. It is one of the most important things for your success, and this is why we talk about the baby steps. This is one of the most important baby steps you could possibly do. So let's go to these cooking segments, and then we'll come back, and I want to share with you some little facts I found on the internet for you. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the basics about hummus. And I'm just going to show you an easy recipe that you can just knock out anytime you want. Actually, it doesn't even take a recipe to do this. Right here I have some chickpeas. And we actually did these in a crock pot. You can take a look at one of my other YouTubes. I show you how to make crock pot chickpeas in a fraction of the cost. And then we refrigerated them, and some of them we had frozen. In fact, these right here, we actually refrigerated last night. Now this morning, what I did was I warmed them up a little bit, because when you warm them up a little bit, it will actually expand them, make it easier to blend. You can actually have a little bit thinner blending action. And then as it cools in the fridge, it will tighten up and be thicker. So it's just one of those little secrets that nobody knows, but now you know it. And garlic, we're gonna add some garlic to this. You can kind of do as much as you want. Now, sometimes I use fresh garlic. You know, a lot of people do. And but this stuff right here, you can get it in big quantities and put it in the fridge, and it'll last for months in the refrigerator. So that's a real go-to, especially on those off seasons when the garlic isn't quite as fresh as it should be. Tahini is another thing. And by the way, look at the quantity that I get. I use so much of this. Get a big quantity like this, and I'll tell you what, it is 1/4 the price of buying those little jars in the grocery store. And pretty much any restaurant supply company is going to have it. Now, it doesn't take a lot. All I'm going to do is put in a couple tablespoons here, and it really doesn't take a lot of the tahini here. So just like that, and we'll just set this aside here for now. Okay, just like that. Okay, and so we've got that much in there. Another little secret you can do is add some lemon juice to it. You don't need a lot. Some people don't even like the lemon juice in it. And then I'm going to give this just a couple pulses here real quick. And you can kind of see how thick it is and everything. And ooh, this is going to be a good one, I can tell already. And but we are going to add some water to it, and I'm going to start with just about a 1/4 cup of water, and we'll see how that's going. And we're going to add a little bit more. Okay, this is really starting to spin now, so that's good. You will have to get in here and give it a little spin like this from time to time. And now what I'm gonna do, oh here, let me throw some black and green olives in here. My wife likes the black and green olives, so we'll just give it a little bit of a flavor like that. And then I'm gonna add some olive oil. And I'm probably gonna add about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. It's gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes to mix up and become very smooth. You want this velvety smooth. So we're gonna get this fired up, and I'll probably just fast forward it on the camera so you don't have to sit here and wait 2 minutes for me to watch all this. Okay, and we're done here. I did add a little bit of salt. If you didn't catch it in the fast, I tasted a little bit about halfway through and said, oh, I missed the salt, so I got to get the salt in there. Definitely need salt in it. But just like that, let me tell you, it took a couple minutes, but we've got our hummus right here. Woo! And we're going to just put it right back in this container. That's easy enough for me. And get this scraped off here a little bit. And let me tell you, this is so good. I mean, it is just tasting wonderful. And we're gonna get the, and you can see how this is kind of pourable, but look, it's still thick. And we're gonna put this in the fridge for a while, and it's gonna thicken up even more. So, just like that, whew. That's what I'm talking about. Just like that, you've got your hummus done. And so just for a little recap here, what you do is warm up your chickpeas. Because when you warm up your chickpeas, heat expand. It's going to be easier to blend it for one. And then as it cools down, it will thicken up. So it's one of those little trade secrets that nobody knows. And then we're going to add just a little bit of... and then hit it with your hummus. You've got your tahini, you've got your garlic in there. Add your water first and get it to the consistency you want. And then add your oil. And you can see I didn't use hardly any oil at all because I used it more of a water base. We don't want to have a heavy oil hummus. Like most of the stuff in the grocery stores, whoo, let me tell you, they just hit it with the oil. And I'm telling you, it's just way too much calories from fat when it comes to the ones that you get from the grocery stores. So this saves you a ton of money, you're eating healthier, and that fast, you've got your basic hummus. And stay tuned for other programs because I do have more complicated hummuses and different things that you can do. But I just wanted to show you the basics today. And if you put a little green and black pepper, it'd be like a tapenade on the top. But that's the way to do it. So Mark Anthony, we will see you next time in the kitchen. Okay. Hey, we're back and we're talking today about organizing your refrigerator, making it something that's more efficient, that you can get more healthy use out of it. And a lot of people, especially with big families, I always tell people wash their food first, prep it before it goes in the fridge. And people with big families, when you take big items and you chop them down and you're shrinking them, so you'll actually have more space in your refrigerator. Another thing that happens quite a bit with families with quite a few people in the fridge, a lot of times things get moved around and it gets confusing. What you want to do is make it so every single thing has a particular place where it goes. And when you do that, you want to fill up every single shelf. So even if you put empty containers in there, just for memory's sake here, if you put empty containers in the slots where you're going to have whatever particular items, when people pull out the milk, when they go to put it back in there, boom, it goes right back to where there's the only spot available. And that's kind of a system that if you go to grocery stores and things like that, you're going to see the same system. In grocery stores, they have every single spot taken. So there's no place you can put something that doesn't go where it belongs. And so you kind of do the same concept with your refrigerator. You just put all these things in particular spots. And with kids and things like this, yeah, things are going to get moved around. You're going to open up the door and that milk is going to be in the wrong spot. Don't complain. Just keep putting it back over and over and over and over and over. And then when you're done putting it back over and over, put it back again. And eventually, people will get in the habit of knowing where this new place is in the refrigerator. It is a constant upkeep to keep your refrigerators organized. But when you've got a healthy, organized refrigerator like that, I'm telling you, it is going to domino effect. It's going to spread throughout your entire home, and that's what I'm looking for. All right. Hey, let's go to, I've got to get to this being organized on the website here, but I've got so many clips. I want to go right to our next couple clips here because I need to get you these recipes that will really aid in your refrigerator to have those fun items to eat. So let's go to these clips and we'll be right back.
Hi, Melody Prettyman here from The Home Message, bringing you your health tip for today. I want to talk to you about delicious grapes. What a wonderful snack. Mom, Dad, kids, 100 calories in a 1-cup serving, packed with vitamin C, potassium. Grapes, are the superfoods. Oh yes, I love this snack. Remember, when you eat a grape, you're just one bite away from good health.
Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the easy way to make tofu egg salad. And it just takes a couple ingredients and it's so simple to do. Now, what I've done so far here today is actually pressed the tofu. I've got tofu in here, and I always get the organic, non-GMO, because that's just what I do. But so we've got the tofu in here. I put a plate on top of it and then just put a little weight on it. And this way, you'll see why I do this, because look at how much water is actually in this. Woo! Yeah, there's a lot of water in that, and you don't want that in your tofu. You just don't want that in my tofu. So here we go. We've got some tofu right here, and now a lot of people will mash that up with a fork. I do things the easy way. I just like to get a glove in here and just do it by hand. A little bit easier. But yeah, fork works. A fork definitely works. But when I can play with my food, I'm gonna do it every time. So I guess maybe it came from my childhood or something like that. But all right, and that's all it takes. Just give it a good mashing like that, and it is pretty dry, so it's a pretty good shape today. And take the glove off. Now what we need to do is add a couple ingredients to this. Your main number one ingredient, of course, is your Vegenaise. And of course, you don't want to overdo this when you're first putting it in there. You can always add more mayonnaise later. So you don't want to add too much or you're going to end up with a problem. And so we're going to give this a stir, and I probably will have to add a little more. But I want to see where my texture and consistency is, because I don't want it over mayonnaised, and I do need a little bit more. So we are going to add just a little bit more. And just like that, should about do it. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay, so ingredient-wise, what we're going to put in here is a little bit of sea salt, and this is McKay's chicken style seasoning. There's another one called Bill's Best. One of my favorite ones is actually Butler soy curls. Butler soy curls. Yeah, they've got one that's a chicken style seasoning. There's a lot of different ones out there, but pretty much anything will do. And now you still have your base right there. Now one little trick you can do is add a little bit of turmeric just for color. If you want to do a little bit of turmeric, it's going to give it a little color in there, so that's always okay to do. Now what I'm doing here, since I've got two people at home that like different things, my wife, she likes the green olives and the celery. Now, she does not like peppers and onions, especially onions. She's like, no, I don't want those onions in any way, shape, or form. So, but just like this, let me taste this real quick here, since it's for her. Perfect. You notice how I didn't even measure anything? I'm telling you, this is so easy to do and so healthy, and it just tastes delicious. So here's the one for my wife. We'll put hers out here first. I should have gave her the bigger one, but I'm going on the road, so I'll take the rest with me. And so we got one for my wife right there, and I want to make sure I get the lid on, so I better not put too much in there. So we've got one done. Then let's say there's other people in your home, you know, that like other things in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some onions and peppers in it, and those red bell peppers just like that. And so now I kicked it up a notch for myself to have something a little bit different. And this easy, I'm telling you, this is so easy. And by the way, I have put so many different things in here. Black olives, artichokes work really good in tofu egg salad sandwiches. Actually gives it a little fiber. And those hearts of palm, you can chop those up real thin, put those in there. Whoo! Man, nobody will even know that it's not eggs. But then again, you know, a lot of times it's not our job to try to simulate everything in society. You know, I like our dishes to have an original flavor, an original look, an original texture, original appeal. And just like that, you've got a tofu egg salad with the peppers and onions. Now, a nice part about doing this, if you're going to put this in the fridge, you're going to want to label it. Now, this one I don't need to label because I know when I see the red peppers in there that that's the one with no onions, and my wife knows the difference. The only time that you're required to label something is if it is not identifiable. And anytime it's something that is not going to be identifiable to you, then you want to label it. I don't know how many times I've looked in the fridge or the freezer and I'm like, okay, this is flour. There's no label on it, but I don't know if it's gluten-free. I don't know if it's rice flour. I don't know, you know, because it's just that similar. So, you know, certain things you want to label very particularly, but with something like this, I don't really need to label it. I'll just put a wrap on it, and it'll last quite a few days in the refrigerator. So, woo, isn't that easy? Anyway, this is Mark Anthony showing you the easy way to eat healthier on a tofu egg salad sandwich, eggless salad sandwich. Thank you. And we'll see you next time in the kitchen. right, we're back, and I want to share this with you on the internet because this is where the rubber meets the road. And this is from the Open Bible, right here, Open Bible. I can't really see it up in the corner. You might not be able to see it, but it's openbible.info. And I love this one because you can actually put in whatever your topic is, and it'll pop them up. Look at this, 17 verses about being organized. And I'll just read a couple of these for you. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For God is not a God of confusion, but a God of peace. And in all the churches of all the saints. See, God wants you to have peace in your life. If you're living an unorganized life, you will not have peace. I've got my peace shirt on today. This is my casual, I love having peace. And this is one of my favorite shirts because I feel relaxed and at peace in it. And I feel much more at peace when my refrigerator is organized. I feel at peace when my office is organized. Organization brings peace. And when you have peace, you can become closer to God. This is why you need to organize yourself. Keep organized. It is so critically important. Satan wants you to be confused. Satan wants confusion. Satan wants to be unorganized because he knows it keeps you away from God. And when you live an organized life, you're going to live more of a godly life. And let's see what else we got here. Luke. I'm getting excited about this, but I do. I just have a passion for this, and I want you to have that same passion. Luke 14:28 through 30. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Here's another one, 1 Corinthians 14:40. But all things should be done decently and in order. And see, we know our God is an orderly God. He is a God of organization. He's a God of particular things, intricate things. Look at prophecy with timelines. If you look at prophecy with timelines, all the way from before this earth was created until Christ comes back to bring us all home for all eternity, everything was pre-planned. And a lot of things had, movement, but he still knew exactly when those things were going to be happening. He is so organized. Amen to that. I mean, look at the planet, how many hundreds of different things have to be perfect in order to sustain life. You look at some of the species that have gears inside their bodies. Everything is very precise in order to sustain. Here we go. Habakkuk 2:2. Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. Write the vision on paper. That's a very important thing. Otherwise, you forget it. Put the vision on paper, and then you can get things done. I have a program that I do on my tours called Organize Your Life, where I talk about organization, time management, money management, things like that. We might have to do a class on that. Let's see what else we've got here. I got to stretch this out. Matthew 5:48. You therefore must be perfect, as your heavenly Father is perfect. And there's a couple little elements to that. We will all be made perfect in that day when Christ lifts us up into the clouds. And in the same element, until then, we need to strive for perfection. Nobody's going to be perfect in this world, but we always want to strive for that perfection. And the list goes on and on here. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and this is from Genesis 1:1, of course. Time after time, 1 Timothy 3:2. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach. These are all wise counsel that we need, and we have wise counsel. We have more wise counsel than you could ever imagine, and all we need to do is apply that to our lives, and we will live that life of peace because we're organized, and the healthy foods that we're going to eat is going to put us at peace, and so we're going to have a closer connection with God. And that's what this is all about, is having a closer connection with God. Now, yeah, let me share this one last clip with you, and then we'll come back, and I've got one other thing I want to share with you. So let's go to this clip. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the simplest, easiest way you could ever imagine to make guacamole. And let me tell you, I've got some avocados here, and they are definitely ripe to overripe. And all you have to do is just give them a little circle cut like that, and just like this. And you can kind of make the avocado do the work there too. You'll notice when I'm cutting it, you can actually just kind of spin it around like that. So just like that. Easy way to get the pits out of there. You just smack it like that, and then just take it right off. Just like that. Whoop! They do fly away. That's why a lot of times I just go right like that. Now I'm actually going to save a pit. I'll share with you what we're going to do with that a little bit later here. So, okay. All we've got to do is empty these out of here, and it's pretty easy to do. And if they're a little overripe, you can always, kind of take your spoon and take a few pieces out of it or anything like that. And but these look pretty good. These look just fine. And if they're overripe, that's fine too, because I'll tell you what. Where do you think they invented guacamole? It was taking the avocados that were overripe and turned it into something. So that's exactly what they did. And this is the way it works. Now that you have all this in here, we're going to start mashing this up. Now you can use a fork, you can do it so many different ways. Sometimes I'll use a wire whip, but for a little batch like this, I don't even worry about it too much. I just want to get it all pressed down like this. And check out my secret ingredient. Right here, I'm just going to add just a little bit of sea salt. And that fast, you have guacamole. Done. Is that simple or what? I'm telling you, so many people out there are putting all these crazy ingredients in their guacamole, and this is the perfect guacamole right there with absolutely nothing else but the avocados and the salt. I had a real good friend of mine, this was quite a few years ago. He went to one of the pretty prestigious guacamole festivals, and he took best guacamole by doing absolutely nothing but guacamole and salt, the avocado and salt, nothing else. And it's just that way. It's just that easy to do. And because the more ingredients you add, the more complaints you're gonna get. The more ingredients you add, the more that you're taking away from the flavor of the avocado. So just like that, you've got guacamole. Done. Done deal. Just like that. Now my wife, she doesn't like the onions and peppers, so I kind of leave hers plain, but I do like adding some things to it. So I'm going to add some onions to it. These are some bell peppers and tomatoes. So you can pretty much add anything you want to it. Red pepper works, and you can also add a little Caribbean jerk rub. This will really spice it up, gives it a nice flavor. Another thing you can do, which is a good recommendation for people, is to hit it with a little squeeze of lemon. Actually can also help the shelf life a little bit on it too, so sometimes that's a good thing to do. Okay, just like that. And I've got my guacamole, my wife has hers. And let me show you a little secret that they do down in Mexico. They will actually put the pit in the bottom, and then they put the guacamole inside of it. And it's supposed to keep the guacamole lasting longer, give it a longer shelf life. And I better taste this just to make sure it's okay. I'll taste the plain one. That is absolutely perfect. Nothing but avocados and salt. But for me, I love to kick it up a notch. Woo, give it a little bit of heat. Now here's a big, big secret that you have to learn when it comes to storing your guacamole. we've got some saran wrap here. That's not good enough. Putting the lid on it, that's not good enough. What you have to do is press the plastic into the guacamole, get all the guacamole squeezed down to the bottom so there's no oxygen in there. That's the way you store guacamole. You have to press it out so all the oxygen is out of it and it won't oxidize and turn brown. So that's the secret to storing it as well. That easy to make guacamole, let me tell you. You can make it every day if you wanted to. It's that good, it's good for you. And so enjoy it. Another fast, easy, simple way to cook healthy at home. And keep watching those videos and we'll see you next time. All right, we're back, and I just wanted to share with you, this is my calendar. I got to share this with you. When I'm going on tour, and my next tour is coming up here, and I've got 3 months and 60 different stops that I'm doing, and I've got a date, time, location, phone numbers, contacts, when I contacted the people. Every little thing is so organized. I mean, I have to be extremely organized when I'm doing these tours. 60 locations. 1 year I did 240 events in 1 year. So we're trying to cut that back. I want to get down to where I'm only doing about 40 events a year on the road. But that'll take time. I'd rather spend more time in here helping you learn where I can kind of reach thousands of people with these intelligent concepts rather than just dozens at a time. So anyway, but that's what it's about, being organized. And health-wise, when you have peace in your life, you're going to feel so much better about your life. And so you're getting a double benefit when you organize your refrigerator. We had a class just a little bit ago about organizing your oatmeal station. We've got another class coming up about organizing your freezer, showing how you should have your freezer set up. But it not only helps you get healthy physically from the food, but it helps you get physically healthy because you have more peace in your life, which will all domino into that rest, which is actually our last program in this 12-part series. So, okay, we're done at the desk today, but we got a couple more things to show you, and then we will, that'll be a wrap. Hey, just wanted to share with you my newest cookbook. This is the kind of book that will really be a blessing to your library at home. And I took a lot of care making this cookbook. In fact, I do autograph them. I always try to do that. One thing I did with the quality of this book was make it a hardcover. It's over 400 pages, over 250 recipes. Plus, I put a stitched binding on it so it will stay open on the kitchen table. This is one thing you want to look for, is those good stitched bindings that will stay open and they're not going to mess up over time. And this book is filled with so many great recipes and concepts, because it'll actually give you the concept how to make hummus, and then here's recipe, 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 recipe. The concept how to make bruschetta, and then recipe, 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 recipe. So it's one of those things that just makes it so much easier to learn how to function in the kitchen. And that's really what I want to do, is I want to teach people the basics. I want to teach people how to do things easier in the kitchen, to make your life easier. And more importantly than that, I want to get you healthy. And in this book, there's actually some areas in the front here, let me share this with you, that have 12 different concepts on things that you need to do to get healthy. And one of them is go vegan, of course. Here's one about reducing oil and a whole bunch of information about that. And biggest meal for breakfast, I talk about that. Plenty of water, which is what I'm doing right now, trying to get plenty of water. Rest, so there's some really good concepts in the front. Plus, I also share some of my station simplicity, how to design your oatmeal station, how to design your refrigerator into a salad bar. So this is a real powerful education tool to teach you how to function in the kitchen so much better. And these run $50, and shipping's included. We're not even charging for shipping or anything. And it is such a fantastic book. It's available on my website, or you can just call the number on the screen. And we should usually ship out within a day or two. So it's just one of those books that helps support our ministry. And of course, you can always call the number on the screen, even if you just want to contribute to our ministry, because let me tell you, this is one of those ministries, we don't have a bunch of sponsors. You're not watching 35 commercials in order to get one recipe. And we sustain ourselves basically on your contributions and a couple of the books that I have available. I have another one too here, Vegan Simplicity. We've got a part 2 to this one coming out real soon. And this one too has not as many pictures, but it's packed with recipes. This one's just packed with recipes, and that one's half the price. So just wanted to share those with you. Both fantastic books. My website, chefmarkanthony.com, or call the number on the screen, and we will get those right out to you. So enjoy the rest of the program, and we'll see you later on. Hi, Mark Anthony here, and I am once again blessed to have Chef Abigail Vautier in the studio today. And she's sharing with us a whole bunch of fun recipes that you're going to love. What have you been doing other than cooking at home?
Well, I'm going to do with you, I'm going to help you do a pink passion veggie dip.
Yes, pink passion veggie dip. That's what we're doing today. Are you in Pathfinders?
Yeah?
You're a Pathfinder. Have you earned a certificate for cooking?
Well,
Do they have a badge?
they have a gourmet cooking one.
Uh-huh.
It's about Esther. But I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
We're waiting for you to come.
Oh, really? Is this a personal invitation?
Well, my dad wants you.
Really? I'll be glad to do it. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to be cooking for the Pathfinders before you know it.
And helping with us.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd be glad to do that. So yeah, today I'm just making a fun, crazy looking veggie dip. So we've got our ingredients here. Hand me that rubber scraper. And I've just got some, this is a vegan yogurt that is just plain, no flavoring, just a plain vegan yogurt. So we've got that in there. And spinach, I've got 1 cup of everything. 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup. Of course, this looks like 2 cups because it's spinach. So you can really compact it down to be 1 cup, wouldn't it? So the spinach goes in there. And the beets. Of course, you know what's going to happen when you mix red beets and white. What's going to happen?
It's going to turn pink or red.
Here, give that a blend. Yeah, it would turn pink or red. I got a little teaspoon of salt here, and just like that. In fact, I think that's about enough. So we're gonna just, really soften that up. Do you think we need one? Half of one? Probably half of one? What do you think? See,
Your recipe.
I learned from Abby. I'm doing it Abby's way. You go like this and like this, right?
Look at all that mist.
That works though. I think half of one. I think we'll do half of one.
Yeah, because that was a lot of juice.
Yeah, that really juicy. That's what happens when you roll it, right? You get more juice out of it. Okay, so this is it. I can turn this on and we're ready to go. Okay, just like that. And you already made a little veggie tray to go along with this, so that's cool. And okay, we'll just go right in there. As I say, bring the whole tray over. I'll even take the whole tray from you too. But the smart chef that she is, pour this into the bowl when it's not on the tray. That way if you spill, at least it's not spilling on the tray, right? Is that the concept?
Yeah.
You are so smart. Okay, so just like this. Perfect. Oh, look at that. What do you think? There you go. And that fast and easy, the kids, it's like a fun recipe that just looks like something they'd want to eat. And should taste pretty good. You can taste the beets. The creaminess, the lemon gave it just enough zest. The salt was just about right. And the spinach that nobody would know was in there. So what do you think?
I like it.
I like it. All right. Wow. Anyway, try this at home for the kids. They will love it. Have them help you in the kitchen, because that's the way, you can learn from your kids how to cook better food for them. So isn't that right? Absolutely. Hey, this is Mark Anthony with Abigail Fortier, and we will see you next time in the kitchen. All right, now how easy was that to design a healthy environment in your kitchen? Get your refrigerator set up the way it's supposed to be. And then work on your rotations, continue your rotations, make sure you're always checking things, and actually eat the food. That's what it's there for. Too many people, they buy all this food and then they just go right back to their unhealthy foods. Don't buy those unhealthy foods. Get the healthy foods at the grocery store. When you get those healthy foods in your home and eliminate the unhealthy products in your home, then you're going to gravitate and you'll get in the habit. It's a lot of habit forming things, and we'll talk about that more in other programs. But today, I just want to thank you for tuning in. We've got our website, chefmarkanthony.com. So make sure you check them out and share them with your friends and family. And we will see you next time in the kitchen doing some more cooking on The Whole Message.